For the first time since the 1999 draft, we had 3 quarterbacks selected with the first 3 picks in the draft, with a total of 5 going in the first round. But a lot goes into the draft in developing a franchise quarterback. Plenty of great prospects have gone to bad situations or have simply been the victim of unfortunate circumstances. So let's take a look at the quarterbacks taken in the first round of the 2021 draft and try to project how each of the quarterbacks' first few years will go. First up, we have Trevor Lawrence. Many projected Trevor Lawrence to be the number 1 overall pick, whatever year he decided to come out of college, since his high school playing days. Some claiming he is the best QB prospect since the likes of Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning. The young QB played 40 games in his first 3 years at Clemson, throwing for 10,000 yards, 90 touchdowns, and only 17 interceptions, rushing for another 1,000 yards and 18 touchdowns. The struggle with being the number 1 overall pick, with rare exception, is you go to one of the worst teams in the NFL, and the Jaguars are no exception for Lawrence as the young franchise is going through a rebuild, bringing in longtime college coach Urban Meyer. While Meyer has been one of the most successful college coaches of all time, many college head coaches has failed to translate their success to the NFL level. The road ahead of Lawrence is going to be difficult as fellow first-rounder and former Clemson teammate Travis Etienne was hurt in the preseason, quite possibly out for the entire season. But Lawrence seems to have an organization that at the least is headed in the right direction, with an owner like Shad Khan, who seems to be all in with moves like bringing in Urban Meyer and improving the Jaguars' facilities this offseason. While things may be dark for Lawrence's short-term success, Lawrence seems to be an organization that wants to win now, and will likely make the moves to attempt to build a contending team around the young QB. He will also likely have a long leash should he struggle early. Next up, we have Zach Wilson. Wilson was selected by the New York Jets with the 2nd overall pick in the draft. The BYU prospect played 21 games over 3 seasons, throwing for 7,600 yards and 56 touchdowns with only 15 interceptions, rushing for an additional 640 yards and 15 touchdowns. The Jets are seemingly no better of a landing spot than the Jags. They took a big swing bringing in 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh as head coach and trading away Sam Darnold, electing instead to draft Wilson. While Wilson has shown potential in the preseason, a lot of his success will depend on the Jets GM Joe Douglas and Saleh's ability to assemble and coach up a team around Wilson. While there's a high ceiling, the Jets have not had a great history of developing young QBs. Hopefully Wilson will be the change the Jets have long been searching for. Next on this list, we have Trey Lance. While Lance fell to be the 3rd quarterback taken, he went to one of the best situations a young QB could hope for. The 49ers traded 3 first-round picks and a 3rd to go up and select North Dakota State QB at number 3 overall, signaling a nearing end to the Garoppolo era in San Francisco. Lance falls into the perfect position behind veteran Jimmy Garoppolo, who has taken the young rookie quarterback under his wing. Barring an injury to Garoppolo, Lance will be under the least pressure to start this season, giving the young QB time to learn Shanahan's complicated offense, allowing him to start when Kyle feels like he is ready. Lance also gets one of the best young coaches in Shanahan with a proven track record to get the most out of whatever quarterback he is working with, not to mention a great safety blanket for any young QB in George Kittle. Lance may be one of the last draft picks from his class to start, but he has the best chances at long-term success with the 49ers. Justin Fields. Shortly after signing Andy Dalton and proclaiming him QB1, the Bears drafted Justin Fields with the 11th pick in the draft. Fields played 22 games in 2 years at Ohio State, transferring from Georgia after his freshman year, passing for 5,700 yards, 67 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, rushing for another 1,100 yards and 19 touchdowns during his time as a collegiate athlete. The Bears have no plans on rushing Fields out to start, despite the hype from fans in the preseason. However, head coach Matt Nagy and the Bears have failed to develop their previous first-round pick, Mitchell Trubisky, who is now backing up Josh Allen in Buffalo. So while the Bears' O-line is the middle of pack at best, and they will most likely lose their main offensive weapon, Allen Robinson, to free agency this coming offseason, and head coach and general manager in the hot seat, it's going to be hard for Fields to thrive in Chicago. And last on this list, we have Mac Jones. Jones was the final QB taken in the first round. The Alabama quarterback was taken with the 15th overall pick by New England. Jones lit it up in his final year at Alabama, throwing for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions. The Heisman Trophy finalist has the added benefit of going from Nick Saban in college to Bill Belichick in New England. Jones may face some of the toughest pressure in his career as he was drafted to replace the Patriot legend Tom Brady, but he has one of the best situations for a young QB to be drafted into.